was scared to even touch her, you know. It was scary feeling her heartbeats being irregular, but I knew I still had to keep applying some kind of pressure.
The courtroom was emotional as Christopher Horne Jr. said this to Kayla's friends and family.
I want to say I'm sorry that y'all lost y'all love and y'all never gonna get them back. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a bad person. I just did some terrible things in my life, and I'm really sorry. I hope one day y'all forgive me and accept me, but I understand if you don't. And I want to say I'm sorry to my family.
This is not a drill. It's your boy B Millie, and we back with another one, man. If you here, then you already family. And today, we talking about one of the most controversial murder cases to come out of Southwest Florida in years. A case where two co-defendants eventually blamed each other. A case where the surviving victims described multiple attackers. A case where Christopher Horne Jr. accepted a plea deal for 25 years. In a case where even after conviction, many people still have questions. Who actually pulled the trigger? How many people were really there? And why has nobody else been charged? But before we get started, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's get into it. I ain't never lost, I learned. Even if you double cross, I learned. This story begins on March 17, 2024.
Back to walk you through the crime. It happened last Sunday around 9:30 p.m. According to police, Kayla was walking with two other girls from Marquee Cinema there in Cape Coral to McDonald's on Del Prado Boulevard. While en route, the girls tell police that a car pulled up, blinded them with their car lights, and tried to rob them. Now, at some point, the girls say Kayla was shot in the chest. As we know, she died from that injury.
A silver Nissan Pathfinder approached the girls. The vehicle reportedly turned around and came back towards them. What happened next would leave one teenager dead and several families forever changed.
I received a call at 9:33. I thought that it was her calling me regarding to come pick her up, until I hear the girls in the background telling me that she was shot. At first I thought it was a prank, until I heard Kayla's voice in the background telling her friend, asking her friend or telling her friend that was she going to die.
The victims described what they believe was an attempted robbery, then gunshots fired. She was rushed to the hospital where she later died from her injuries. She was only 15 years old. On March 20th, 2024, Thomas Stein was arrested.
First, an arrest was made after a Cape Coral teen was shot dead. Thanks for joining us here on Wink News at noon. I'm Nicole Gabe. Police just made that announcement in a press conference in the last hour. This 16-year-old Thomas Stein is in the Juvenile Detention Center charged with murder while engaged in robbery. This right here is the victim, 15-year-old Kayla Rincon-Miller.
He was connected to the attempted robbery that ended with Kayla's death.
And police say the vehicle connected to this case is a silver Nissan Pathfinder that was rented to Stein's mother. So the family tells me they believe he was the driver, and they hope he'll be forthcoming about who else was in the car with him.
That vehicle had been rented by Stein's mother. At this point, Thomas Stein became the face of the investigation. But he would not be the last person charged. Days later, investigators announced the arrest of a second suspect.
Another teenager arrested in the murder of 15-year-old Kayla Rincon-Miller in Cape Coral is being charged as an adult. 16-year-old Christopher Horne Jr. faced a judge for the first time today, but police will not tell us who they think pulled the trigger. They do believe at least 4 people were in the car the night Kayla was ambushed more than a month ago along Southeast 16th Place and 20th Street as she walked from the movies with some friends.
Prosecutors said he participated in a robbery that led to Kayla's death. Now investigators had 2 teenagers facing murder charges, but according to testimony that would come out much later, the story was still far from complete. Then the case took a crazy turn.
Family of a Cape Coral teen murder suspect is now also facing charges after the 16-year-old was arrested. Cape Coral police say his mom, aunt, and dad threatened to kill the family of his co-defendant.
These are the two boys charged so far in the murder of 15-year-old Kayla Rincon-Miller. Investigators say Christopher Horne Jr.'s family wanted to keep Thomas Stein's family quiet.
Among those arrested was Chris's mother, father, and aunt. Authorities claim witness intimidation and witness tampering. The arrest became major local news, but supporters of the Horne family argued the accusations were exaggerated or outright false.
Stein's mother told investigators the Horne family threatened her with a pistol.
The conversation was good, nothing ever went bad. She told us that we had nothing to worry about because her son pulled the trigger. We don't have anything to worry about. She went down there, gave so many different statements, lying.
The witness tampering charges were dropped against the Horne family this month.
And we're really innocent. We've been saying this from the get-go. Cape Coral Police Department did a horrible investigation. Horrible. They got one side of the story. If they would have came and talked to us.
The situation became even more controversial when Christopher's father was later arrested after authorities claimed issues involving his ankle monitor.
The son is innocent? Can you get away? My son is innocent. They're all innocent. Can you back away? Talk about the situation. I want to talk about I'm innocent and my son is innocent.
Family members were becoming part of the headlines. For many people watching this case, it felt like the investigation had expanded beyond the murder itself. Eventually, prosecutors moved forward against both defendants.
Then in September of 2024, both Stein and Horne were indicted on first-degree murder charges. On Wednesday, we saw Stein back in court, where the state said they could be ready to go to trial by either the end of this year or the beginning of spring. They say they're on track for a 3-day trial, and we heard no indication of a plea deal. But for Horne, on Thursday, the judge set a plea date for September 19th. According to the original report, witnesses reported seeing 4 to 5 people in the car. So I reached out to Cape Coral Police to see if they are still looking for suspects in this case, and they said, quote, "We are always looking for additional information in high-profile cases like these."
The state's theory was straightforward. The attempted robbery led directly to Kayla's death. And under Florida law, everyone involved can be held responsible. Then came the moment that changed everything. In September 2025, Christopher Horne Jr. accepted a plea agreement.
Say that again, please.
Christopher Horne.
Are you a junior?
Yeah.
Is that your legal name, Christopher Horne Jr.?
Yeah.
Where'd you live?
Just bend that microphone a little more directly towards you.
What you said?
There you go.
Where do you live?
In jail.
He agreed to plead no contest to second-degree murder and attempted robbery charges. In exchange, he would testify against Thomas Stein. The agreement exposed Christopher to a 25-year prison sentence.
I just want to say I'm truly sorry for all the pain I put y'all through.
We also learned in court that Horne told prosecutors behind closed doors that Stein was the one who shot Kayla.
And you understand that by entering a plea today, there's not going to be a trial.
Yes, ma'am.
Many people immediately questioned the deal. Some believe Christopher was finally telling the truth. Others believe he had every reason to point the finger at Stein. Either way, everyone knew the trial would come down to testimony. When the surviving victims testified, several details stood out.
Okay, when was the next time that you saw the car?
After it had made a whole U-turn in the neighborhood and came back down the other road, the next road down.
And was it coming at you head on at that point?
At that point, yes.
Okay. And what happened when it came head on at you?
They flashed their high beams at us, and next thing I know, there are people hopping out of the car and attacking us.
Okay.
This happened quicker than I could process.
So as soon as those doors open, does it happen right away that somebody has a gun to you?
Yes.
And you said you saw the driver going toward Kayla, is that correct?
Yes, I saw the driver and the person that had me at gunpoint. They had went over to where Emma and Kayla were.
Emma Wright and Louann both described multiple people being involved. They described what appeared to be 4 or more individuals connected to the attack. Both survivors also described the driver as matching Thomas Stein's appearance. The testimony created one of the biggest questions in the entire case, because if there were 4 people involved, why were only 2 people being charged? To this day, nobody else has been charged in connection with Kayla Miller's murder. Emma Wright's testimony became a major issue for the defense.
Isn't it true you don't know who pulled the trigger?
At the moment, no.
At the moment?
At that time, no, I didn't.
So you're changing your testimony from before at least 3 times to something different today. Is that true?
You asked me this question already. I'm confused.
Judge, I'd ask the court to directly answer the question.
No, she said she's confused. You can ask the question again, or you can rephrase.
You've given 3 different accounts where you said you didn't know who the shooter was, and today you're changing your testimony. Is that correct?
I'm saying the facts, yes.
Judge, I would ask her to answer the question yesterday. Are you changing your testimony?
Well, I think she answered your question.
So you're changing your testimony?
I said yes.
Stein's attorneys argued that parts of her testimony differed from earlier statements. That disagreement became so significant that Stein's defense team later argued they had been unfairly surprised by portions of her testimony.
Her testimony last week was inconsistent with every single time she had given testimony previously. Every single time that she talked to the officer on the scene, she talked to detectives later on. She talked to me in a deposition a 1.5 years later. She was 100% certain, her words, not mine. The driver was not the shooter. The driver was not the shooter.
The issue would later become part of Stein's efforts to challenge the verdict. Then Christopher Horne Jr. took the stand. His testimony shocked everybody.
How many people were in the car that night?
Just 2.
Just 2?
Yeah.
The entire night? You're nodding your head yes?
Yes.
Chris told jurors there were only 2 people involved, himself and Thomas Stein.
But plainly, Thomas was supposed to be the driver because he wasn't wearing a mask, right?
He wasn't the driver. What you getting at? What you trying to say? You trying to say I did it?
You were the only one with a mask.
You trying to say I did it?
Were you the only one with a mask?
Yes.
Chris then made the biggest accusation of the entire trial.
Were you holding the Glock or was he?
He was.
Why did the gun jam?
Because he shot.
What was he doing when he shot?
I don't know. I just looked back and seen him shoot, and it was just too fast. It was like too fast. Like that's why I feel like he, you know what I'm saying? I feel like he knew it.
He testified that Thomas Stein was the shooter. He told jurors Stein fired the fatal shot that killed Kayla. Chris also stated that the gun jammed after the shooting. Then Stein took the stand, and his version was completely different from everyone else's.
How do you know these people?
I don't know them. They're Christopher's friends.
Did he ever mention their names?
Yes, he did.
Okay. When I imagine at some point you picked him up, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Where'd you pick him up?
The church.
Were they together, or did you have to wait for each one to arrive?
They were together.
What was their names?
Plus, Christopher referred to them as one of them, JD, and the other one's name is Trey.
Stein denied being the shooter. Instead, he claimed there were additional people involved.
What's happened?
It was in moments. It was like as they get out the car, it's within 10 seconds. Christopher runs up to Emma, Trey runs up to Deja, and JD's at Kayla. And everybody's kind of like struggling. And out of the 3 of them, I kind of noticed Kayla and JD, they're kind of almost in like altercation. They're fighting.
Like almost line.
Yeah, like it's like they're moving back and forth. Like looks like they're fighting. Like Kayla's defending herself. from him.
What do you do?
So at this point, I kind of run up to separate them. Like, and before I even get up, that's when the gun went off.
According to Stein, 2 unknown individuals were present. Stein claimed one of those individuals, identified as JD, fired the fatal shot, not him. Now, the jury had 2 completely different stories, really 3 completely different stories. Emma, Wright, and Louann described multiple attackers. Chris Horne said only 2 people were involved. Thomas Stein said additional people were involved and blamed someone else named JD. Yet, no one else has ever been charged. These questions continue to fuel discussions around this case. After trial, the jury had finally reached their decision.
We, the jury, finds as follows as to the defendant in this case. Count 1, first-degree felony murder. The defendant is guilty of first-degree felony murder. Count 2, attempted robbery. Kayla Christina Rincon-Miller. The defendant is guilty of attempted robbery with a firearm.
On May 4, 2026, Thomas Stein was found guilty of first-degree felony murder and attempted robbery charges. The jury rejected Stein's version of events. Then came Christopher Horne's sentencing.
I'm deeply sorry to the victims for bringing this pain and trauma upon you. I know sorry a trillion times will never be enough. I hope for forgiveness, but I'm not seeking it because the damage, the trauma, happy homes broken after this tragic. I can't relate being in your footsteps, but I can view from sitting on the bleachers. I just wish Stein never had to end with Kayla losing her life so young and innocent. I want to send my condolences to the mother, father, siblings, and other family members and victims, everyone that's affected. I'm not a monster.
Sentence in this case that as to count 1, second-degree murder, the court will adjudicate you guilty, will sentence you to 25 years in the Florida Department of Corrections with all credit.
On May 19, 2026, Chris was sentenced to 25 years in prison. Because he was a juvenile at the time of the crime, his sentence will be reviewed after 15 years. No matter how people feel about the testimony, no matter who people believe, or what questions remain, one fact never changes in this case. Kayla Rincon-Miller was 15 years old. She went to the movies with her friends, and she never came home. Let me know what you think, fam. Do you believe Christopher Horne Jr., or do you believe Thomas Stein? Do you think there were more people involved than the 2 co-defendants? And do you think every person responsible will be held accountable? Drop your thoughts down below, fam. This is Not a Drill TV. Welcome to the circle. If you here, then you are already family. It's your boy Big Millie, and we out, fam. If not, then it's all up. It's all up. If not, then it's all up.